one guy who he's super weird, but he's got this big almost like a roulette table type of thing, and it's got little prizes in it, and people buy either a bucket of spoons or a bucket of forks from him, and he spins the wheel and gives them whatever prize. Is very like stupid things, like just random stuff he's found around his house, but he makes videos of it, and he's like, "We're spinning the wheel for," I'll just say Stacy G for an example. "We're spinning the wheel for Stacy G. Stacy G, the wheel spins for you, and it knows your name." And he goes through this whole rigmarole, and it's really stupid, but I keep watching the videos. I'm going to send you one of them, John Bird, and you just tell me what you think.
Okay, send it along.
He's basically just selling a bucket of forks or a bucket of spoons, like actual silverware. And
so he's pretty convincing, huh?
I guess. I mean, people are buying it all the time. He's like
a bucket
of spoons, 30 miscellaneous spoons with a handle that works, and it's so stupid. I don't know if anybody else has ever seen this, but I'm gonna send you one because I'll be watching it, and Trish's like, "What are you watching? This is so ridiculous." Then she's like, "Do we want to buy a bucket of spoons? That's actually kind of cool." I'm like, "No, we're not buying a bucket of spoons."
That's why he's selling them.
Yeah. It works, apparently. It's just got a bunch of different kinds of spoons or different kinds of forks.
Well, you know what? You could make what is the thing you put outside the window? Chimes. You can make wind chimes out of forks.
A fork chime.
Yes. Or spoon chime.
Yeah, good idea. Hey, how about this? I didn't even have to ask, and Matt Murphy is on the line. Matt Murphy, hey now. Hey now.
What's going on, fellas?
What's up,
What's
buddy?
happening, man?
How's it been going?
I'm great. Sorry it's been so long since we've talked, Andrew. You doing all right?
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks. I just wanted to make sure you were alive and all that kind of stuff. I think I texted you the other day. Of course, I texted you because I was needing something, but I am your friend, and I do care about you and want to check on you.
I care about you too, Andrew. I do. And John Bird's there too. So anyway.
Hey.
You want to ask John Bird how he's doing?
Hey, John.
Yeah.
I thought about you the other day, my friend.
Did you really?
Yeah, because, hey, have y'all been following Andrew? Have you been following this Troy Jackson cat that they picked to replace Graham Plattner?
Yeah. I was going to talk about that today, and I haven't yet. So, yeah, if you want to go ahead and explain that to the audience.
Yeah, so the Democrats apparently can't find a sane male human being to run for Senate in Maine. And so they had Graham Plattner, Mr. Nazi Tattoo, and he's abusing women and all these things. And so the guy that they picked to replace him, Troy Jackson, turns out, and this is where John Bird comes in, because when I heard this story, I thought of John, because John seems the type of guy that's dated his second cousin, right?
Yeah.
So apparently Troy Jackson is with his second cousin and has a couple kids with his second cousin.
That's
so
right.
That's
right.
There you go.
Now, first off, Troy Jackson, when his name when it first popped up, the Democrats wanted to go with this guy, even before Graham Plattner had officially dropped out. It was on his record that he had been somewhat violent with women in the sense of throwing a bottle at a woman one time or whatever. So this was a guy that was volatile and had at the least he was Graham Plattner light, and then the news comes out, as you just stated, that he had been in a relationship. Is he still in that relationship?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think they have 2 kids together.
He's with his second cousin. They've got the same great grandparents, and they've got 2 kids together. The second cousins with 2 kids.
Well, maybe what if they were twice removed? That would be okay.
Well,
I've never understood what that twice removed crap means.
No,
Anybody else? I lived 52 years of my life. I don't know what that means. I think it's just, you know what? People say that who want to smooch on their second cousin is what it is.
They're trying to remove the fact that they're involved in incestuary is what they're doing.
Right. Well, yeah, I realized that I was laying down in sin with my second cousin, but she's twice removed. Yeah, whatever.
It's wild because you think about the fact. I mean, is it really that hard for them to find somebody? I mean, if I'm the Democrats, I'm like, hey, let's just go back to Graham Plattner. What's fascinating is, and we've said this, and I know you've probably said it many times in the past. Democrats are always the type of people that will accuse you of being what they are guilty of. They'll accuse you of being a Nazi. They'll accuse you of being racist. They'll accuse you of, wanting to destroy democracy or whatever it is. And yet they are doing those very things. And now here we are to the point where they call us backwards, redneck, incest, whatever. And they're actually incest.
Right.
It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Well, I will give Democrats in Maine credit because they've managed to do something that I did not really think was possible. They've managed to get me to support Susan Collins. So,
yeah, which is not an easy thing to do.
Which is not an easy thing to do because she's a little bit of a squish. But you know what? I suppose we need the squishes too. Otherwise, we get the crazies that have become socialist. And now, well, they've not become socialist. They've always been socialist. Now they're just not afraid to say it.
Right. It's a wild time, and I don't know if there's a lot of conservatives that are worried that what's going on in Iran is going to cause the Republicans to be clobbered in the midterms. But I find myself in a position of not looking at the Republicans or looking at the Iran conflict. I'm looking at the Democrat Party, and I'm thinking, dude, this group of people, this party's in shambles. I mean, they're broke. They're putting up the DNC headquarters up for collateral just to help fund some campaigns. Like, they're in a pretty bad spot. And like traditionally, and in some cases, I mean, politics has changed so much over the past 10 years that you can kind of throw tradition out the window in some aspects. But traditionally, this would be a death sentence for the Democrats across the board, considering what position they're in right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's funny you mentioned that. I said on a podcast that we were doing yesterday afternoon that the best friend that the Republicans have in the midterm elections right now are the Democrats because they're lurching to the left. They've been catering to the radical leftist wing of the Democrat Party for so long. Those people are growing up, they're 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years older now. They feel emboldened. They're in their mid-20s, and they're absolutely insane and do not understand how the real world works. So the Democrat Party has to bow before the altar of a group of people that truly do not understand how the world works, do not understand that socialism doesn't work and never has, do not understand the natural dictatorial or tyrannical consequences of a socialist government. And they have to face that. And we, the normies across America, are looking at this going, what in the hell? Zoran Mamdani is in New York City. I mean, and he's socialist number one. Go ahead and say communist number one. Those things are interchangeable. And he's touting the benefit of government-owned grocery stores. Where have government-owned grocery stores worked?
No way.
And the answer is they don't work. And they don't work in the traditional sense that we would expect a grocery store to work. In other words, you go in, you pick out items, you go to the checkout, you pay for your items, and you go home. It's amazing how far they've gotten in so little time. And I mean, I give Trump a lot of credit, and maybe some people would say a little bit of blame, but I would call it credit for drawing these people out into the sunshine so we can really see who they are.
Yeah, when you think about it, it really is on Trump to have gotten them to this point. They have been, and it really just his presence in general and how much they hate Donald Trump. They've thrown their original playbook out, which is, like you said, we're socialists, but we can't tell people that because normal people, middle class Americans, flyover country is not going to buy into socialism. So we've at least got to pretend that we're normal. But because Trump is their main focus, they're just everything's out the window, and they're willing to do whatever. And so they pander to these people, and they think they live in this alternate universe where they think that, I don't know, that people are going to latch on to their platform and vote for them because of these socialists. I don't understand it.
No, I mean it takes. It takes a tremendous amount of pandering to stupid people in order to get people to vote for socialism. But sadly, that's happening in major metropolitan areas. It'll just continue. Socialism doesn't break down until you run out of other people's money. However, so I'm hopeful. I don't think this will happen by November. But I'm hopeful over the next couple of years prior to the 2028 election cycle, we'll see some of the breakdowns in New York. But they always have excuses, right? Whether it's New York or Seattle or Chicago or wherever it's going on. Oh, it's always someone else's fault. With the evil corporations and the capitalists who are interfering with our utopiastic society. Otherwise, everything would be perfect. Said every socialist ever in the history of ever, right? That's what they do. They just, when it doesn't work, they blame the capitalists. Meanwhile, capitalism just keeps chugging right along, and it's imperfect. Nobody suggests that this is a perfect system, and there are things that happen that would need to be corrected. But it's the best thing we got going on planet Earth, baby. If we can save it, and let's hope we can, November and beyond.
Well, and this is not regular socialism, as they tell us. It's democratic socialism, which works, unlike previous examples of socialism. The thing about it is,
I'll say this.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, I'll say this. It has turned me back on to what a great voice. I think you'll appreciate this, Andrew. A great voice in this debate for me is Bill Maher, because Bill Maher is a normal leftist. He's a normal Democrat. And when I say that, I mean, he just, he doesn't really like Trump that much. He agrees with some of these more left of center policies, these social programs and whatnot. He doesn't mind paying more in taxes. But he's appalled. And watching him go after some of these real radical socialists and just his ability, because they won't come talk to me. They won't come talk to you. They run screaming, right? But they go and sit down and think they're talking to a friendly, and listening to him dismantle their ideas and really dismantle them in a way that demonstrates that they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They don't even know what socialism means when you bring it in the United States of America. And so it's just a good example. I'm not here to tout him, but I am here to say that I love listening to some of these older, more moderate leftist voices that are just as appalled as we are at what some of these idiots are saying about what they want their government to do.
And I think Bill Maher doesn't really realize what he's doing, but he's helping Republicans tremendously, because there's a lot of Democrats, I mean blue no matter who Democrats, that base all of their opinions on what Bill Maher says. Like, to be a Democrat, you're really not that much of a free thinker. You're just listening to what somebody else says. And there are many out there that Bill Maher is that guy for them. They listen to what he says and take his opinions, and that's their opinions. And so now they're listening to him bring on his podcast these celebrities and other people that are talking about, I think Mamdami's good. I think socialism's good. And he's just tearing them apart right there on the podcast. And I wish I could remember who the last one I saw. You probably saw it too. It's some famous actor that I've seen him in several movies, but he was, as you stated, just clueless when he started bringing up some of the staff, the people on Mamdami's staff, and some of the stuff that they've said in the past, which is, super anti-Semitic stuff or whatever it was. And he's like, "Do you not know who this is?" He's like, "No." He's like, "Well, you support Mamdami. Like, you think that he's all great and wonderful. You don't even know who's working for him or who he's got by his side." And they're like,
"Well, no." And I know exactly and I don't know who the actor is, but I know exactly the conversation you're talking about, because the guy's like, "Oh, I like Mamdani. He's good. He's going to do great things to New York. I lived in New York for 25 years." And he's like, "Yeah, he's a communist." He's like, "Oh, come on, man. He's not a communist. Get over that." And Bill Maher just slowly lays it out. I was like, okay. What would you call a person that has these people in his staff? And this specific person says that ownership of homes is a white privilege, radical oppression of minority people.
White supremacy.
All property ownership is white privilege, and it needs to be abolished. He goes, "What would you call that?" He goes, "Well, that's kind of crazy." like, yeah, but what's amazing to me is leftists are so self-assured. They're so confident. They speak down to people like you and me, Andrew, until you throw facts on the table and you realize that you scratch that surface. They're morons. They don't really know anything that they're talking about. They just use their confidence and their self-assurance and their ability to talk down to other people as a weapon. And when they get up against somebody like even a Bill Maher or an Andrew Mclain or a Matt Murphy, I would presume they can't combat. They can't combat in the arena of ideas.
Yeah, and what they need to realize as well is that at the end of the day, if you choose socialism, it's not something you can just test out or dip your toes in the water. Like once you've picked socialism, you can't vote your way out of it. Like that's it. You're stuck with it at that point. And
that's the reason the first thing the socialists do is take your guns, because they know the only way out of it is to shoot your way out of it, and they want to take away your guns, so you can't do that either.
Yep, that's exactly right. Real quick, I've done awful with my breaks today, so I'm going to probably cut you loose here in a minute, but I do want to ask you about what we've seen coming out of Spain, some of this video footage of their borders being bombarded. Is that not some of the wildest stuff you've seen since the Biden administration?
Yeah, well, right. Since 3 years ago when
Yeah.
Joe Biden was doing that on the southern border. Oh, it's crazy, man. And it's all about, I mean, the backstory, as I understand it, is they elect a socialist prime minister who's been preaching, hey, we believe in immigration. We believe in immigrants. All you got to do is get over here. You're welcome here, he said. That's what he said, right? You're welcome here. And guess who was listening? All of those Africans who bombarded the border and bum rushed. And I guess this is like a portion of Spain that's across the Strait of Gibraltar, right on the tip of Morocco. I don't want to get too nerdy geographically with everybody, but so it's not like in the mainland of Spain proper. But what I've said is don't give these people bigger boats, because they'll be on the mainland, boy, in a jiffy. But what is he going to do with the 60,000? There's 60,000 people bum rushed Spain illegally in 24 hours, and they did it because the new prime minister of Spain said it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
So look, I've said for a long time, I don't know how you feel about it. I feel for these people. I mean, I feel if you're born in Mexico City, which is a city of like 30 million people, and you're born into abject poverty, man, it's going to take a lot for you to get out of that. And we are blessed every single second of every single day to have been born in the United States of America. But that doesn't mean that we enter a suicide pact where we open our borders and allow anybody that wants to come here. That's not the way any of this works. We become them if we do that. They don't become us.
Yeah.
We become them.
Yep.
And so you got to say no. You look, Andrew, if you and I are at the club and John Bird wants to come in and the club's full, we just got to say no. We just got to say no.
Sorry, John
Bird, you can't come in. I'm sorry, buddy, but you know what?
I won't be there anyway.
Uh-huh.
Well, it works out for everybody.
You're hanging out with your second cousin.
We're going to dive into that next
Twice
segment, by the way.
removed, thank you.
I need some more details on this. Well, listen, we'll cut you loose. You got anything big happening coming up? Anything we need to know about?
No, man. We're very excited in Tennessee. I mean, we got primary elections coming up next week, right? So
Yeah.
we're going to figure out who's going to be the Republican nominee in all of these different races, whether or not we're going to pick up a seat in Tennessee. So very excited, very laser focused on that. Look, next week we need to talk about football, brother. I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Well, let's do
Football's coming. Next week we will have football every week, NFL or college, until February.
That's
Think about
amazing. That's amazing. I love it. All right, man. Well, I'll keep in touch with you, and we'll talk to you next week, my friend.
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
See you, Coles. There's Matt Murphy, the Matt Murphy in Nashville, Tennessee. Let me hit this break. Coming back on the other side. More on the line after this. Standing next to a mountain. Who is this?
Tom Morello, Voodoo
nice.
Child.
Nice. As we've talked a lot about wrestling today, there was nothing like Voodoo Child playing when Hollywood Hogan would come out. That was his theme music. That was tough, man. That hit hard, dude. Even though we all hated him back then, he was like the worst of the worst bad guys, you know? And he had a whole group of people, the NWO, and they just beat up everybody every week. And I remember so many. It's being a kid, like being so angry every Monday night with how the show ended. Not in the way that I get angry now. Now I get angry because the storylines are stupid and don't make sense. But like back then, I would get angry because the bad guys were always, you know, had a leg up, it seemed like, and the good guys could never pull it off, could never win. But anyway, we're going to try to get back on track with our breaks here in a few minutes, and everything will be back normal. A little different today. We're not doing John Bird Plays the Guitar, are we?
No, I couldn't even lift my guitar to come in.
Yeah. So we'll
yeah, but you can vote. I mean, you can go ahead and send in votes during the rest of the show because we're gonna have a guest picker, but we're gonna have a final four and everything.
Okay. So y'all
Friday.
send suggestions. Maybe I'll read some of them off and get John Bird's reaction or opinion to it. Real quick, and Damian brought this up during the break when he was leaving, and I should have brought it up with him, but in the WNBA, which we don't ever talk about because, honestly, it's kind of boring, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark have been kind of the two main stays in the WNBA.
Yeah.
Angel Reese is apparently a good player, one of the top players, and then Caitlin Clark came along, got all the attention, and it made Angel Reese mad, and some people were claiming racism and all this other stuff.
Angel Reese ain't that good.
Well, apparently, the WNBA posted a video, and I don't know who's running their social media, but posted a video of Angel Reese and Paige Buchers. I guess her name's Buchers. She plays. I guess there was a WNBA All-Star game coming up, and this Paige girl was on the other team. Her and Angel Reese were making a $400 bet on their own game.
What?
Which is completely against league rules in every sport. You can't bet. Now, I've always, and this is the Pete Rose theory, I've always said, like, if you're going to bet, at least bet on yourself, and that would, force you to play as hard as you can because you want to win the money. But it's still a big no-no. And because the WNBA, for whatever reason, panders to Angel Reese, they have admitted that they are not going to punish them. Which, if you think about it, the WNBA recorded them doing it and then posted it on their X and then quickly deleted it once they realized that people started commenting that was against the rules. Like, how do you not know that's against the rules? Like, the WNBA account posted it.
You're 21 and a far-left liberal and feminist, and you don't have any idea about what basketball is.
The league's official social media account posted the video Wednesday, appearing Dallas Wings guard Paige Buchers and Atlanta Dream forward Angel Reese agreeing to a $400 wager on the outcome of the game between their own teams. The WNBA itself promoted the apparent bet. The clip recorded during the league's All-Star Weekend in Chicago showed Reese holding a stack of $100 bills while discussing the wager with Buchers. This is how the rich stay rich, Buchers said during the exchange. The WNBA later shared the footage ahead of Wednesday night's Dream Wings matchup with a laughing caption referencing the bet between the two players. Okay, so it wasn't an all-star game. It was a game between Atlanta and Dallas.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So, and they were betting on their respective teams. The WNBA's own rule book explicitly prohibits players from wagering on league games. And yet the WNBA is like, man, we're not going to do anything. But they deleted the post even after that. So the game, it makes it even worse because Atlanta rallied from a 15-point deficit at the end of the game to win 82-81. Reese finished with 22 points, 12 rebounds. Buchers recorded 17 points, 6 assists. Following the victory, Angel Reese appeared to reference the wager on X, writing, quote, "Dubs in the MF chat with the hashtag 400." So she's even still promoting the fact that she made the bet.
Just, you know what? Just do away with the league.
She also reportedly joked during her post-game press conference that she would be requesting her Apple Pay from Buchers. So she obviously knows that she's not going to get in trouble for it. And this comes on the heels of the co-owner of the Seattle Storm, the WNBA Seattle Storm, was cursing out teenage girls at a game because they were supporting Sophie Cunningham. And, Sophie Cunningham recently was asked about transgenders in women's sports, and she says, no, they shouldn't be. Biological males shouldn't be in women's sports. So they've been coming after her. And it's like,
they don't need to mess with her. She's a badass.
Yes, for the WNBA, you're getting promotion. But I don't know if I don't know if bad press is good press. I don't know if any press is good press in this situation because it's a product already that people don't really want to watch, and you're just making it worse by acting the way you're acting. not to hammer on it, but the stuff in Spain we watched last night on the podcast, John Bird. What'd you think of those videos?
Frightening.
They eventually deployed the military. Remember that initial surge was Haitians.
It was frightening.
And if you look at a map, you can kind of see where the southern part of Spain kind of links to Gibraltar and then Morocco and those areas. Well, after that surge of Haitians, they deploy the military. Well, then a surge of Africans show up, kind of the same thing, and they pull the military back. And so there's just been chaos in the streets, and some of the locals have been out there fighting with the migrants, telling them to go back home, like throwing punches and all kinds of stuff. I've seen some videos of that.
This sounds staged or organized when you have two groups from two different countries. It's almost like, okay, we're going to send in the 1st Regiment. And while we're engaged with the enemy there, then we're going to reinforce them with the 2nd Regiment. That's just, I don't know, man.
Yeah, and the thing is once you, as a leader of a country, send out the message or make the move to give amnesty to tens of thousands of migrants, hundreds of thousands of migrants, however many it was, that word spreads quickly. And it doesn't spread because, Africans or Haitians are looking on TikTok. There are organized groups that are there that help spread the word. It's exactly what happened to us. If you recall, the Red Cross and USAID and these other organizations that were posted up south of the border that were guiding migrants in these caravans towards the southern border of the U.S. and telling them, hey, Joe Biden is in office. He's letting anybody and everybody in. All you got to do is say that you're in fear for your life, where you're from, and they'll let you right in and send you wherever you want to go. And that's what they're positioned to do. And so don't be surprised if the same thing happened here. Spain is just repeating what we did just a few years ago. And being a much smaller country, it is going to cause the collapse of that country. And I feel bad for the Spaniards that, are there and want to keep their country, because this is not the way to do it. The third world doesn't come in and assimilate. The third world doesn't come in and say, hey, we want to live the way y'all live and be a part of your culture and do the things you want to do. They want to bring their culture and force it on you. So Spain, at this rate, if they continue on this track, it'll be unrecognizable in 5 years, in 10 years. And it's a suicidal ideology is what it is. And that comes with socialism. It comes with liberalism. It's an ideology of, I'm doing this because I'm a good person, even though it is against your own best interest. There was one, I saw a video done by Nick Shirley. I didn't see the whole video. I saw a clip of it. And he was at NYU. And he was going around asking these super liberal students, their certain questions. And one question posed was, if you were raped by someone, would you want that person in jail? Or because you are a socialist or a liberal or whatever and you want to abolish prisons, would you rather that offender be out on the streets and not have to suffer the punishment of being in jail? This is what the student said.
Let's just say somebody who has raped a woman.
Totally.
Would you like them to be out in the street?
I think my answer is yes, even though that's a challenging answer to say.
So if you got raped, would you like your rapist to be out in the street?
Well, let me finish. Because I have been raped, and they are out in the street. And I'm not sure like them going to jail is a solution to like whatever's going on inside their heart or even my own heart that like contributed to that experience that I'm having. And I don't want more people to get raped, but I don't know for certain that going into a jail in the United States is going to shift anything inside of their like operating system so that they'll make a different choice again.
Wow. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. And is there one last message you'd like to give the people about potential the rise of communism or freeing the people inside the prisons?
Just like free yourself from the own prison in your heart.
Free yourself from the prison of your heart.
You know what? That's sad.
That is very sad.
It is very, very sad. She even was talking about contributing to it.
Yeah. So
God.
the ideation of abolishing prisons meets a harsh reality when you find yourself in her situation, where you say, yes, abolishing prisons are more important than getting this guy off the streets to make sure someone else doesn't fall victim to his heinous crimes. She says, well, if you put him in prison, that's not going to change the way he's wired. It's not going to change what's in his heart that makes him want to do these things. Well, yeah, sometimes that's the case. That's why we put them in cages like animals, like the animals they are, to separate them from society. That's the point of jail. In some cases, it is meant to, and it should be, but not really in most cases, rehabilitate people. But for some of the sickest among us, jail is meant to separate that individual from society so he doesn't offend again, so he or she doesn't go out and repeat the same actions that got him there in the first place. But this person says, well, jail's not the answer. It's very disturbing, and it's scary to think that there are people out there like this that vote, and their vote counts just as much as yours. It's literal insanity.
I wonder if her parents agree with that, or if that's partly where she got it from. Jeez, man.
Sometimes these people go to that extreme because their parents are the opposite. They want to be different from their parents.
Yeah, you're right.
They don't want to be they don't want to be boomer conservative Fox News viewers. So I'm going to be ultra liberal. I'm going to be a socialist and abolish all prisons. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Suicidal ideology is what you call that. That is a process of thinking. It is a train of thought that the things you want may ultimately lead to your demise, whether you realize it or not. Maybe she does. It sounds like she does. That it would be detrimental to her, but the greater good is to...
And she thinks she's sacrificing herself for the greater good.
Crazy, crazy stuff, man. 205-545-9950. Let's keep it rolling right after this. Noto Roofing. NotoRoofing.com, NotoRoofing.com, my roofing company, and soon to be yours. But the first step, as you know, is to get that free roof inspection and free roof tune-up. These guys have got you handled all the way across the board. Best in the business, man. No doubt about it. Love me some Noto, and they have supported this show for so long. They have they're the best, man. Love these guys. Love the work that they do, and I'm so grateful of how they take care of you guys, and they just like they took care of me. There's so many different different roofing companies out there that it can be hard to find the right one. Find one that's going to do right by you, because you don't want to get one and then realize that they didn't do what they were supposed to do, and now you got to go get another one. Doesn't happen with Noto. It gets done right the first time. So call them at this number, 205-848-2299. That's 205-848-2299. Online, NotoRoofing.com. Looking at an F-35 that crashed out in California, San Diego-ish area, I believe. No other details on that just yet. That seems to be...
Just happened today?
Yeah. It's a very, very fresh story. I don't know if that would have been some sort of military training going on or what, but I'll keep an eye on that, and as soon as I can get some information on that front, we will we'll bring that to you. You got big plans this weekend, John Burge? You know, I'm going to that Edgar Allan Poe thing tonight. Remember that I bought for Trisha for her birthday?
Oh, that's right. Man, that's going to be cool.
I think I don't remember where it's at. I think it's at the Carver Theater.
It's going to be cool, and make sure that, you get into it.
What do you mean?
Don't be like, or on your phone or anything like that.
Well, I wouldn't do that. I mean,
you want to be engrossed and embrace it. You will love it.
Let me see where it's at. Here we go. Night with Poe. Carver Theater, yeah, tonight, 4th Avenue North.
Man, it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool.
It says, read this before attending. Your descent into a musical journey that is Night of Poe in Birmingham awaits. A few helpful notes before you join us. The experience is 21 and up only, and a valid ID will be required at entry. We invite you to arrive 15 minutes early, allowing yourself a moment to settle in before the evening begins. Seating is open and first come, first serve, so early arrival encouraged. Parking may be limited, so we do encourage the use of rideshare services such as Uber and Lyft, especially as 3 themed cocktails shall be served throughout the night's performance.
Oh, dang.
Or throughout the performance's intermissions. Come on, read the words. I wonder if I could convince Trish to do that, for us to like park somewhere unless they've got some public parking places, if I could convince Trish for us to get an Uber.
You might want to get an Uber, because it sounds like that those drinks are part of the Poe story.
Well, she's not a big drinker. She probably won't drink anything.
Tell her she didn't have a choice.
Our devoted servers will attend to your every thirst. Should you prefer a mocktail or have any allergies, simply inform them upon arrival. They are dreadfully delighted to accommodate. This is no formal dress code, though we do so adore a touch of the theatrical, macabre elegance, Victorian silhouettes.
Dude, this is going to be awesome.
And dramatic Gothic attire are most welcome. We look forward to guiding you into the world of Edgar Allan Poe, reimagining through a haunting musical journey shaped by Danny Elfman.
Can I go?
If you get a ticket. Who is it? Do you know Danny Elfman?
Yeah, he did Batman and did all these. He's like the best composer.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Interesting.
He did the original Batman.
Okay.
You're going to love this. Dang it.
I got to find something Gothic to wear, though.
Mm-hmm.
Should I do mascara and paint my nails?
Yes.